You do not have to turn this into another job. There is no streak to protect after these words are finished. There is no calendar you need to mark tomorrow, no promise to prove by returning at the same hour, no private test waiting to see whether you were disciplined enough to keep going. This listening can be complete in itself. You can hear what reaches you, keep what settles naturally, and leave the rest without guilt. Sometimes the deepest relief begins when you are no longer preparing to perform your healing correctly. You may be more familiar with that performance than you realize. You learn something hopeful, and almost immediately a second thought arrives behind it. Will I have to do this every day? What happens if I miss a morning? What if I forget the words? What if I feel peaceful tonight and anxious again tomorrow? What if the change disappears because I was not consistent enough? A message that was meant to comfort you quietly becomes another responsibility. A practice becomes a test. A hopeful idea becomes something else you can fail. Even rest begins to carry instructions. That is not what is being asked of you here. For this one listening, you are being invited to experience completion, not perfection, not a guarantee that every problem disappears. Not a promise that 1 hour of calm rearranges every circumstance outside you. Completion means something much more believable. It means you can stop carrying this particular inner assignment after you have heard it. You can let the words finish. You can let yourself finish. There is a difference between learning something and being sentenced to repeat it. There is a difference between support and obligation. There is a difference between returning because something nourishes you and returning because you fear that everything will fall apart if you do not. You have probably carried enough things that felt enough responsibilities that seemed harmless at first and then quietly followed you everywhere. Enough thoughts that began with, I should, and ended with you feeling behind. Enough promises to yourself that became another way of measuring whether you were doing life properly. This does not need to join that pile. It can be one experience, one complete visit, one moment in which the part of you that has been standing guard is told that its work can end. That may feel unfamiliar. You may even find yourself waiting for the catch. That is all right. The habit of waiting for the catch does not make you negative. It often means you have learned through ordinary experience that relief can come with conditions. A pleasant message arrives, and part of you wonders what will be requested next. Someone says, I have good news, and your mind prepares itself for the sentence that follows. You open an inbox and scan the subject lines before you fully breathe. You see an envelope and study the return address. The phone rings at an unusual hour, and your stomach seems to understand the sound before your thoughts do. A bill is lower than expected, and instead of enjoying the difference, you look for an error. Something works out, and you wonder how long it will stay that way. Someone offers help, and part of you begins calculating what you will owe. You receive kindness, and somewhere in the background, an old accountant starts keeping score. Not because you are ungrateful, because you learned to prepare. You learned that pleasant moments can change quickly. You learned that relief may have a price. You learned that hope sometimes makes disappointment feel sharper. So, a small part of you began trying to get there first. It tried to reduce the surprise. It tried to soften the fall. It tried to keep your expectations low enough that nothing could hurt quite as much. That strategy may once have felt intelligent. It may even have been useful. If you lived through seasons when every bit of progress seemed to be followed by another demand, you would naturally become cautious about celebrating too soon. If you experienced times when one expense disappeared only for another to arrive, you might stop trusting the quiet space between them. If support was inconsistent, you might begin checking every gift for hidden terms. If people promised more than they delivered, you might learn to listen for disappointment inside every hopeful sentence. If security came and went, you might feel safer expecting less. That does not mean you chose fear. It means your mind tried to protect you with the information it had. Protection can become a habit long after the original season has changed. A hand can remain closed even after there is nothing left to defend against. The mind can keep rehearsing bad news because it believes rehearsal will make bad news easier to survive. It can keep preparing arguments that never happen. It can keep checking figures after they have been checked. It can keep opening the same account page. It can keep replaying conversations. It can keep making emergency plans inside otherwise ordinary evenings. It can keep asking what you forgot, what you missed, what is coming, what will cost more than expected, what could go wrong next. This kind of bracing rarely announces itself dramatically. Often it is very quiet. It is the extra look at the balance. The hesitation before opening a message. The suspicion that an unexpected kindness must have a reason. The feeling that a peaceful week is merely the space before another problem. The difficulty enjoying what is enough because you are scanning for what might not be. The belief that if you stop worrying, you will somehow become careless. The thought that staying tense proves you are responsible. You may have confused readiness with tension for a very long time. They are not the same thing. You can be responsible without rehearsing disaster. You can make wise decisions without punishing yourself in advance. You can look at numbers without turning those numbers into a verdict on your worth. You can make a plan without living inside the worst possible ending. You can ask for help before exhaustion makes the decision for you. You can take practical action and still have moments in which nothing is being solved. You are permitted to live between the tasks. You are permitted to experience the ordinary minutes in which no crisis is occurring. You are permitted to let a favorable moment be favorable without interrogating it. There may be a part of you that says, "If I relax, I will miss something." Listen kindly to that part. It is not your enemy. It is tired. It has been working overtime. It believes vigilance is love. It believes calculation is safety. It believes that if it keeps one eye open at all times, it can protect you from the next surprise. You do not have to fight that part. You do not need to shame it. You do not have to order it away. You can appreciate what it tried to do and still tell it that its assignment is becoming smaller, much smaller. For these minutes, it does not have to stand at the door. Nothing here depends on you reaching some perfect state. You do not have to become completely calm before you are allowed to continue. You do not have to believe every comforting thought immediately. You do not need to force trust. You do not need to pretend that practical pressures are imaginary. Real financial strain is real. Bills matter. Housing matters. Food matters. Debt can feel heavy. Income changes can affect whole households. Uncertainty deserves respect rather than slogans. What you are hearing here is comfort and mindset support, not financial advice. When real pressure is present, practical steps matter too, and qualified professional guidance or reputable free support can be worth seeking. Inner steadiness does not replace practical action. It can help you meet practical action with more room inside yourself. That distinction matters. You are not being asked to smile at a problem and call it solved. You are being invited to stop adding an invisible second invoice to every visible one. The first cost may be the actual expense. The second cost is the hours spent anticipating 10 more. The first challenge may be a decision. The second challenge is the belief that one difficult decision means everything is moving in the wrong direction. The first reality may require attention. The second burden is the assumption that attention must feel like fear in order to count. You can pay attention without paying with your peace every time. That possibility may sound small. It is not. Think about how much energy disappears into preparation for things that have not happened. The conversations held silently in your head. The answers prepared for questions no one has asked. The calculations repeated because your mind cannot quite accept the result. The imagined emergencies, the rehearsed disappointments, the constant attempt to stay one step ahead of life. Expectation influences what you are ready to see, not through magic, not because thoughts secretly command the world. Expectation shapes attention. It influences what you interpret as possible. It changes the questions you ask. It changes which opportunities seem believable enough to explore. It changes whether you ask for clarification or assume the answer will be no. It changes whether you accept support or immediately push it away. It changes whether you interpret a quiet period as safety or as suspicious silence. It changes how long you remain open when something does not happen on the first attempt. If you expect every door to close, you may stop reaching for handles. If you expect every kindness to have a hidden price, you may refuse help that came freely. If you expect every improvement to vanish, you may never let yourself inhabit it while it is here. If you expect yourself to earn every form of care, you may work long after the work is finished. That last one matters today. Because some work does finish. Some effort really can end. Some lessons do not need to become lifelong homework. Some sentences are valuable because they close something rather than open another assignment. There is a kind of wisdom in knowing when enough has been done. Picture a wide field near the end of a working day. The light has changed. The sharp brightness of afternoon has softened. The earth holds the marks of the hours that came before. The gate has been opened and closed more than once. Boots have crossed the same ground. There has been motion, instruction, correction, attention. A dog has been working across that field. Not nervously, not chaotically, with focus. It knows the task. It watches. It listens. It moves when movement is needed. It turns when the work requires turning. Its attention stays with the person who has guided the day. There is something beautiful about such readiness. The dog is not asking whether it is worthy. It is not building an identity from the task. It is not thinking 10 hours into the future. It is doing what the moment asks. Across the field comes a small instruction, then another. The dog responds. The work continues until it does not. At some point, the field is settled. The animals are where they need to be. The gate is right. The day has reached its edge. No announcement is necessary, no ceremony, no speech about achievement. The farmer does not ask the dog to prove its devotion by circling the field 10 more times. There is no demand for extra effort just because effort has been useful. There is no suspicion that stopping will erase what has been completed. 2 quiet words travel across the space. That'll do. And the dog understands something human beings often struggle to accept. Finished means finished. Its body changes. The concentrated stance loosens. The tail is different. The whole animal seems to come back from the task. The field remains. The day remains. The responsibility was real. The work mattered. And still, the work is over. That is the part I want you to stay with. Not the labor, not the obedience, the ending, the clean ending, the moment when useful effort is no longer needed. You may have been taught how to begin, how to push, how to try again, how to stay committed, how to keep going, how to be persistent. how to prove that you want something badly enough. You may not have been taught nearly as much about the sacred ordinariness of stopping, about recognizing the point where another round would add nothing, about hearing an inner "that'll do" and believing it, about letting completed effort remain completed. Many people know how to work past the signal. They know how to review what was settled, reopen what was closed, recalculate what was sufficient, question what had felt clear, add another task because the absence of tasks feels suspicious. Search for another method because one method being enough seems too easy. Repeat reassuring words until reassurance becomes labor. Turn reflection into surveillance. Turn growth into a schedule that never grants graduation. You do not need to do that here. The field does not become more complete because the dog keeps running after the job is done. The day does not become more worthy because rest was delayed. The farmer's words do not insult the work. They honor its completion. That'll do. There is warmth in that. There is trust in that. There is respect. Enough was done. The message reached where it needed to reach. The movement happened. The task has an edge. You deserve edges too. Your inner work needs edges. Your thinking needs edges. Your planning needs edges. Your effort needs places where it is permitted to end. Without edges, responsibility becomes endless. Without endings, even helpful practices can become another form of pressure. Without a point of completion, you can spend years trying to earn a feeling that was never meant to be a wage. Peace is not overtime pay. Rest is not a performance bonus. Relief is not reserved for the person who worried most thoroughly. You do not become more deserving by exhausting yourself before you receive something good. The dog in the field does not interpret the end of work as abandonment. It does not assume the farmer has lost faith in it. It does not run another circle to make sure it is still valuable. The relationship remains when the task ends. That is a powerful thing to remember. Your worth remains when the effort ends. Your intelligence remains when you stop checking. Your care remains when you stop rehearsing. Your responsibility remains when you take an evening off from fear. Your future is not protected by keeping yourself permanently tense. You can stop without becoming careless. You can finish without losing momentum. You can rest without reversing progress. You can let something be enough. Maybe you have rarely heard that from yourself. Enough, not as defeat, not as resignation, as completion. There are areas of life where continuing is wise. There are commitments worth keeping. There are routines that genuinely support you. This is not an argument against consistency. It is a reminder that consistency should serve you, not rule you. A practice becomes unhealthy when fear tells you that missing it will destroy everything. A ritual becomes heavy when you believe the universe is keeping attendance. A comforting recording becomes another burden when you think you must return to it forever to remain safe. You do not need that fear. You can come back someday because you want to. You can never come back and still let these minutes have meant something. Nothing is being withheld until a second listening. Nothing essential is being hidden behind repetition. There is no secret reward for proving endurance. You are here now. That is sufficient. Let that statement land in whatever way it can. You are here now. That is sufficient. The mind that has lived through uncertainty may want a stronger guarantee. It may ask, sufficient for what? Sufficient for this moment. Sufficient for this experience. Sufficient for the message you are hearing. You do not need to stretch one statement beyond what it honestly means. Small truths are trustworthy because they do not demand exaggeration. This moment can be complete without pretending the future is controlled. This listening can be complete without claiming every challenge is finished. A field can become quiet even though tomorrow will contain new work. That does not make tonight's ending false. The farmer will wake again. There may be gates to open again. There may be weather. There may be decisions. There may be unexpected things. Still, when today's work is done, it is done. Tomorrow does not reach backward and cancel tonight's rest. You can learn to live that way. Not by refusing reality, by refusing to borrow every possible future problem and carry it all at once. One field, one day, one task, one ending. Your mind may be used to gathering tomorrow into today, next month into this afternoon. Every bill into one frightening total, every uncertainty into one enormous question, every past disappointment into evidence about what must happen next. You can begin loosening that habit, not forever, not as homework, here, for now. What is complete can remain complete. What has been handled can stay handled. What does not require a decision tonight does not need to occupy the whole room of your mind. You can leave some gates closed until morning. You can let the field go quiet. You can let the working part of you hear that the day has an edge. There is nothing lazy about this. A good worker must know when the work has ended. A wise mind must learn the same. Constant effort is not the same as effective effort. Constant thought is not the same as useful thought. Constant concern is not the same as love. You have probably discovered this through exhaustion more than once. The extra hour of thinking rarely produces the answer that the first calm 10 minutes could not. The fifth check often reveals nothing the first 4 did not. The repeated fear does not pay the expense. The sleepless rehearsal does not improve the conversation. The clenched preparation does not guarantee safety. Eventually, there has to be a point where you can say, I have done what I can do today. That sentence can be an act of maturity. It can be an act of trust in yourself. You are not handing your life over to chance. You are recognizing the boundary between your part and everything beyond your part. You make the call. You send the message. You ask the question. You look at the figures. You seek advice when it is needed. You make the next responsible choice. Then there comes a time when the next responsible choice is to stop. That moment deserves as much respect as action. You may have spent years believing that stopping meant you did not care enough. Perhaps people praised you most when you overextended. Perhaps usefulness became one of the safest ways to feel valued. Perhaps being prepared helped you feel less vulnerable. Perhaps finishing early made you uneasy because there was always someone who could find more for you to do. Those old lessons can echo long after the people, places, or circumstances that taught them are gone. You may carry the echo into your private life, into your finances, into your hopes, into the way you respond when something good begins. You may think, do not relax yet. Do not celebrate yet. Do not trust this yet. Do not set the burden down yet. The word yet can become a room with no door. Today, it gets a door. Not because everything outside you is settled, because something inside you is ready to understand the meaning of completion. You do not have to keep working after the signal. You do not have to keep circling the field. You do not have to invent another task to prove that the first one mattered. The part of you that has been watching every gate can begin to loosen its stance. Not vanish, loosen. The part that checks for the catch can become curious about another possibility. What if some good things are permitted to be good? What if some support does not create a debt? What if some relief is not a trick? What if a completed task can remain completed? What if you do not have to earn the right to stop? You do not need perfect answers. A little willingness is enough. The field does not demand belief from the dog. The words are spoken. The work ends. The body understands. That'll do. There is no argument, no negotiation, no guilt, no promise to work harder tomorrow in exchange for permission to rest tonight. The day simply turns. You may not be able to make that turn all at once. That is fine. The old working mind may still take a few steps before it realizes the instruction was meant for it. Let it take those steps. You are not failing because a habit has momentum. A dog running across a field does not stop in midair. There is a moment of slowing, a few final movements, then stillness comes. You can have that too. A little slowing, a little less checking, a little less preparation for punishment, a little less suspicion around relief, a little more willingness to believe that enough can actually mean enough. No force, no performance, no score, just the beginning of an ending. And for now, that'll do. And something becomes possible when your inner worker finally understands that. You begin to separate effort from worth. You begin to separate vigilance from wisdom. You begin to separate preparation from fear. For a long time, those things may have been tied together so tightly that they seemed identical. If you were not preparing, perhaps you felt irresponsible. If you were not checking, perhaps you felt careless. If you were not thinking about the next possible problem, perhaps you felt unprotected. If you were not doing something, perhaps you felt as though you were falling behind. That is how a useful instinct becomes a permanent job. The mind learns one task in a difficult season and keeps reporting for duty even when the conditions change. It becomes like a dog waiting at the edge of the field long after there is nothing left to gather. Still attentive, still ready, still watching for another signal. There is loyalty in that. There is also fatigue. The working part of you may have been loyal for years. It may have watched over every decision, counted every risk, held back excitement, questioned every opening, prepared you for every possible answer except the favorable one. It may have believed that expecting disappointment would make disappointment smaller. But expectation does more than prepare you emotionally. It also influences what feels available to you. When you expect refusal, asking becomes harder. When you expect judgment, explaining yourself becomes harder. When you expect disappointment, hope begins to feel dangerous. When you expect every kindness to have conditions, receiving becomes uncomfortable. When you expect every improvement to be temporary, you may keep yourself half outside of it. That does not mean expectation controls events. It means expectation can shape your relationship with events. It changes your posture toward possibility. It changes whether you approach or retreat, whether you speak or stay silent, whether you ask a second question, whether you accept the offered chair, whether you believe the person who says they are willing to help, whether you take one practical opportunity seriously enough to explore it, whether you let a calm answer be calm, whether you let favorable news remain favorable for longer than 5 seconds before searching for what might be wrong with it. These are small turns. Small turns matter. A dog working a field rarely changes the whole scene through one dramatic leap. It changes direction through attention. A look, a sound, a few steps, a quiet adjustment, then another. Your inner life often changes in the same modest way, not through spectacular declarations, through different responses to familiar moments. You open the inbox and do not immediately predict trouble. You look at the envelope and read what is actually there before writing a frightening story around it. You receive a compliment and do not argue with it. Someone offers assistance and you consider accepting before calculating how to repay it. A plan works better than expected and you let yourself say, good, only that, good. No warning attached, no demand that the moment prove it will last forever, no immediate search for the next problem. This is how the hands begin to open. Not because the world has promised you a perfect future, because you stop requiring every pleasant thing to defend itself before you are willing to receive it. There may be a very old rule inside you that says good things must be earned twice. first through effort, then through worry. You work for the result, then you worry about losing the result. You solve the problem. Then you worry that another problem is forming. You receive the answer. Then you question whether the answer can be trusted. You arrive. Then you begin planning the next journey before you have even put your things down. It can feel productive. It can look responsible. Inside, it is exhausting. What if a completed piece of effort did not require a second payment? What if finishing could be enough? Return to the field. The work has been real. Dust has lifted beneath moving feet. The dog has crossed the ground again and again. It has listened closely. It has responded. There has been purpose in every movement. Then the signal comes. That'll do. Imagine what would happen if the dog had your habits. Perhaps it would stop for a moment, then think, did he really mean it? Maybe I should make one more pass. Perhaps I missed something near the fence. Maybe I should check the gate again. What if stopping now makes me look lazy? What if there is another task he has not mentioned yet? What if I relax and then I am needed? Perhaps I should stay ready. Perhaps I should remain tense. Perhaps I should prove that I am still useful. It sounds strange when placed in the field, yet human beings do this every day. We continue an assignment after the assignment has ended. We keep producing evidence for worth that was never on trial. We keep trying to earn permission that could have been accepted much earlier. The quiet intelligence of the dog is that it trusts the ending. It trusts the person who knows the work. It trusts the signal enough to change its whole posture. That trust does not make the dog weak. It makes the relationship workable. Imagine a dog that never accepted the end of the task. It would exhaust itself. It would become less responsive, not more. Its attention would blur. Its body would tire. Its ability to work well tomorrow would shrink. Rest is part of useful effort. An ending protects the next beginning. That is true in your life too. A mind that never leaves the field eventually loses its clarity. A person who never feels finished begins to live under invisible sure. Every peaceful hour starts to feel stolen. Every quiet afternoon seems like time that should have been used. Every moment without productivity seems suspicious. Even receiving becomes difficult because receiving requires at least a moment in which you are not proving. You cannot fully hold a gift while insisting that you must work for it at the same time. You cannot experience help as help if your first thought is how quickly you must cancel the debt. You cannot experience rest as rest if you are using it to prepare for more strain. This is the turn. You are not being invited to abandon effort. You are being invited to stop worshiping endless effort. You can work when work is required. You can plan when planning is useful. You can ask questions. You can learn. You can make decisions. You can seek better information. You can correct mistakes. You can take practical steps. And then you can stop. Stopping does not erase what you did. The field stays settled after the dog lies down. The gate does not swing open because the dog relaxed. The completed work does not become incomplete because effort ended. You may need to hear that in several areas of your life. What you finished remains finished. What you understood does not disappear because you stopped repeating it. What you learned can stay with you without constant rehearsal. What you have done today does not require anxiety tonight to remain valid. You can leave the field. There is a habit in many thoughtful people of turning every useful insight into a new obligation. You hear something meaningful and immediately begin planning how to practice it perfectly. You find a sentence that comforts you and decide you must repeat it every morning. You experience one peaceful moment and begin wondering how to reproduce it. You discover a better way of thinking and start measuring yourself against it. Then, the very thing that opened a door becomes another room you must clean. This listening is not meant to become that. Its value does not depend on repetition. Its meaning does not depend on your memory being perfect. You do not have to carry every sentence. You do not have to memorize anything. You do not have to return tomorrow. The field does not need another round because you are afraid the first one did not count. Let one listening count. Let one moment count. Let one honest inner release count. There is humility in accepting that small things can matter. Not everything important needs to be enormous. Not everything meaningful needs to become a lifestyle. A farmer can change the entire posture of a working dog with 2 ordinary words. No grand speech, no dramatic gesture, no complicated method, only recognition. The work is done. You can begin offering yourself that recognition, not as a phrase you must repeat endlessly, as a new possibility. You can recognize completion. You can recognize enough. You can recognize the difference between something that needs action and something that has become mental repetition. You can recognize when another round of thought would not improve the decision. You can recognize when fear has disguised itself as preparation. You can recognize when you are still standing in yesterday's field, and you can leave. There may be resistance to this. Of course, there may be. The working part of you has built an identity around usefulness. It may not know who you are when you are not managing something. It may feel exposed without a problem in its mouth. It may look around for another task simply because stillness feels unfamiliar. Treat that response with kindness. A working dog does not become calm because someone criticizes it for being alert. It becomes calm because it hears a trusted signal. You can become trustworthy to yourself. You can become the voice that knows when the task is complete, the voice that does not exploit your willingness, the voice that does not keep moving the finish line, the voice that does not tell you one more thing every time you get close to rest, the voice that can look across the field of your day and say, "You have done what belongs to you. You can stop now." there is strength in that voice, a quiet strength. It does not need to shout. It does not need to threaten. It does not bargain. It does not promise prizes. It names what is true. Enough has been done for now. What if your relationship with receiving changed when you became better at stopping? Think about it. Receiving is easier when you are not constantly trying to earn. A person who can stop working can experience what arrives after the work. A person who never stops has no clear place to put what comes. Everything becomes another project. Even support becomes something to manage. Even affection becomes something to deserve. Even relief becomes something to maintain. Even an easier path can make you suspicious because struggle has become proof of seriousness. You can begin questioning that old equation. Harder does not automatically mean better. Longer does not automatically mean deeper. More effort does not automatically mean more worthy. Repeating something does not automatically make it more true. One honest moment of recognition can matter. One complete listening can matter. One clean ending can matter. That is the spirit of these words. Spirit of the farmer does not say, "That'll do for now, but I need you to prove it again tomorrow before today counts." Today counts because it happened. The work counts because it was done. The ending counts because it was reached. You can carry that same fairness toward yourself. There are days when you will do much. There are days when you will do little. Your dignity does not rise and fall with the amount. There are seasons when action is necessary. There are seasons when patience matters. There are seasons when you need advice. There are seasons when you need rest. There are moments when the wisest thing you can do is make one more call. There are moments when the wisest thing you can do is put the phone down. The art is not endless action. The art is knowing which moment you are in. Right now, this moment is teaching completion. The field is teaching completion. The loosening tail is teaching completion. The final instruction is teaching completion. You can stop earning what is ready to be received. That is the core of this turn. You can stop earning what is ready to be received. Hear it again without pushing yourself to believe it perfectly. You can stop earning what is ready to be received. And once more, with less effort, you can stop earning what is ready to be received. You do not need to make those words magical. They are not a spell. They are not a financial promise. They do not mean that every desire appears without action. They mean you can begin separating deserving from overworking. You can let help be help. You can let kindness be kindness. You can let a fair opportunity be considered without assuming there must be a hidden cost. You can let your own past effort count. You can stop making yourself pay again for what has already been done. If that statement feels too large, use a smaller willingness. I am willing to recognize when enough is enough. That may be easier. No demand, no argument, only willingness. I am willing to recognize when enough is enough. You can carry that lightly, not as homework, as permission to see clearly. There will be moments after this listening when the old habit appears. You may catch yourself checking again, planning again, rehearsing again, trying to earn again. That does not mean you have lost anything. You do not need to restart. You do not need to come back and listen again to repair the moment. You can remember the field. That is enough. Not every detail, only the field. A working dog, a completed task. A voice across the distance. That'll do. Then ask yourself one practical question. Is there something useful for me to do now? If yes, do what is useful. If no, leave the field. This is not avoidance. Avoidance refuses necessary action. Completion recognizes when necessary action has been taken. The difference matters. There may be a bill that needs attention. Attend to it. There may be a conversation that needs to happen. Have it. There may be professional guidance that could help. Seek it. There may be information you need. Find it. And once your part for that moment is complete, do not keep punishing yourself in the name of responsibility. Leave the field. The mind may say, but what if something happens later? Something will always happen later. Life continues. New tasks arrive. New decisions arrive. New mornings arrive. That is precisely why endings matter. You were never meant to hold every future field inside today's hands. The dog does not keep working because another day exists. It responds to this day, this task, this signal, then it rests. You can begin living closer to that rhythm, not perfectly, not rigidly, not as another rule, only with more respect for endings. There is a tenderness in being able to say to yourself, you have carried this far enough. You have thought about this enough for today. You have looked at the numbers enough for tonight. You have prepared enough for this conversation. You have apologized enough. You have explained enough. You have proven enough. You have worried enough. You can stop now. Not everything needs a conclusion tonight. Some things need time rather than more thought. Some answers arrive because circumstances change. Some decisions become clearer after sleep. Some opportunities become visible only when the mind has space. Some support can reach you only when you are not too busy insisting that you must do everything alone. An open hand does not mean a passive life. It means you are no longer gripping every possibility before it reaches you. You can participate without gripping. You can care without gripping. You can plan without gripping. You can hope without demanding certainty. You can receive without immediately becoming indebted inside your own mind. Imagine the dog after the signal. The field is still around it. Nothing supernatural has happened. The sky did not change because 2 words were spoken. The earth did not suddenly become different earth. The difference is relationship. A moment ago, the field was a task. Now it is simply a field. A moment ago, the dog was working. Now it is simply there. That change is profound precisely because it is ordinary. The same environment can feel entirely different when the assignment ends. Your life can contain the same numbers tonight and a little less inner labor around them. The same unanswered question and a little less rehearsal. The same plan and a little less pressure. The same future and a little less demand that you solve all of it now. That is real relief. Small, honest, available. You do not need dramatic certainty. You need enough space to stop adding work where no work is required. There is likely more support around you than fear allows you to register. Not perfect support, not limitless support, but moments, people, information, options, time, skills, past experience, questions you can ask, resources you can investigate, doors you have not tried because you assumed the answer, ways to simplify, ways to negotiate, ways to say no, ways to ask, ways to wait, ways to accept. When the mind is constantly braced, it can become so focused on preventing harm that it overlooks what might help. Opening does not guarantee an outcome. Opening lets you perceive more of what is actually present. That is enough reason to practice less bracing, not as a command, as an experiment in fairness. What if you gave favorable possibilities the same attention you have given unfavorable ones? You have spent many hours imagining what could go wrong. You do not have to spend equal hours imagining perfection. You can begin with something quieter. Something could go better than I expect. Help could be available. An answer could be kinder. A cost could be manageable. A conversation could be simpler. A solution could have fewer steps. Someone could say yes. Someone could understand. Something could work. You do not have to force certainty behind any of those sentences. The point is not to replace one rigid prediction with another. The point is to stop pretending that disappointment is the only realistic possibility. Reality contains more than one door. You can face the field without assuming every gate is locked. You can walk toward the one that might open. And if it does not, you have learned something useful. Then you take the next step. No prophecy required. No false promise. Only a mind that is no longer committed to defeat before the day has spoken. The farmer does not send the dog across the field while assuming every movement will fail. There is trust built into the work, not certainty that nothing unexpected will happen. Trust that response is possible. Trust that adjustment is possible. Trust that the next useful move can be made when it is needed. You can offer yourself that kind of trust. You do not need to predict everything. You can respond. You do not need to rehearse every problem. You can respond. You do not need to stay tense to prove that you care. You can respond. You do not need to know every answer before the question arrives. You can respond. And when the response is complete, you can stop. This is a calmer kind of confidence. Not confidence that life will always obey your plans. Confidence that you do not need to punish yourself before life reveals what is actually required. You can meet the real field, not every imagined field, the real gate, the real task, the real decision, then the real ending. You may have thought peace would arrive only after everything was solved. Perhaps peace can also arrive whenever you stop solving what is not yours to solve in this particular hour. That is different. That is reachable. That is honest. You do not need your whole future settled before your shoulders are permitted to drop. You do not need every financial question answered before you can enjoy a cup of tea. You do not need absolute security before you can laugh. You do not need a perfect plan before you can sleep. You do not need to become fearless before you can experience a quiet minute. You can live while things are still becoming clear. You can rest between responsibilities. You can receive in the middle of an unfinished life. Everyone receives in the middle of an unfinished life. There is no final day when every uncertainty disappears, and only then you become eligible for ease. Life keeps moving. Fields fill and empty. Tasks begin and end. The wisdom is not in escaping the cycle. It is in refusing to carry yesterday's task into tomorrow after it has already been completed. There is something you can set down today. Not necessarily a responsibility, perhaps only the extra effort wrapped around it, the need to keep checking, the need to keep proving, the need to keep expecting a catch, the need to keep earning the right to feel okay. Let that be enough for this part of the journey. The dog has heard the signal. The pace has changed. The field is becoming quiet. And you are learning that an ending can be trusted. You are also learning that rest does not need to be defended. It does not need evidence. It does not need a long explanation. It does not need to be earned by reaching the point where you can no longer continue. There is a quieter way. You can stop while you still have something left. You can end the task before exhaustion makes the decision for you. You can close the gate because the work is complete, not because you have collapsed beside it. That distinction may be new. Many people know how to stop only when they are forced to stop. The body becomes tired enough. The hour becomes late enough. The tension becomes uncomfortable enough. The mind finally loses its ability to keep circling the same thought. Then rest happens almost by accident. You deserve something kinder than accidental rest. You deserve to recognize the end before exhaustion has to announce it. The dog does not have to fall in the grass before the farmer decides that the work is finished. The farmer sees the field. He sees what has been done. He knows when another pass is unnecessary. That knowledge is part of care. You can learn to offer yourself the same kind of care. You can look at what you have actually done rather than only at what remains. You can recognize effort that fear would otherwise erase. You can count the phone call you made, the question you asked, the boundary you kept, the payment you arranged, the information you gathered, the difficult conversation you faced, the decision you postponed wisely because you needed more facts, the choice you made not to spend from panic, the offer you considered, the support you accepted, the unnecessary thing you decided not to buy, the evening you chose not to spend frightening yourself. These things count. Fear often has a strange accounting system. It remembers every unfinished task and forgets every completed one. It enlarges what remains. It minimizes what was handled. It keeps the field looking endless. You can correct that distortion without pretending that everything is finished. You can say, this part is done. That matters. This part is not done. It can wait until its proper time. That is a much more humane way to live. You do not need to turn your whole life into one enormous unfinished assignment. There are sections, there are edges, there are completed parts. There are things that belong to tomorrow. There are things that may resolve without your interference. There are things another person must do. There are things that require information you do not have yet. There are things that simply need time. Your mind does not have to work on what time is already working on. That is one of fulfillment, the places where receiving becomes easier. You stop trying to perform the part of life that cannot be performed. You stop trying to force tomorrow to report early. You stop trying to make every answer arrive before its conditions exist. You do what is yours. Then you leave room. Room is important. A field that is always being crossed never becomes still enough for you to see it clearly. A mind that is always solving can forget how to recognize what has already arrived. Support may be present, but you are busy searching for danger. A workable answer may be present, but you are comparing it to an imagined perfect answer. A smaller expense may be present, but your attention is already on the next possible cost. A generous gesture may be present, but you are already preparing repayment. A quiet day may be present, but you are waiting for it to turn. This is how good moments can pass through your hands without ever feeling as though they belong to you. You were there. The moment happened, but you were already standing in the next field. You can come back, not by force, by letting one thing be one thing. A kind message can be a kind message. A useful answer can be a useful answer. A fair price can be a fair price. A solved problem can be a solved problem. A completed task can be a completed task. A peaceful evening can be a peaceful evening. You do not need to add prophecy to any of it. You do not have to say it will last forever. You do not have to promise yourself that nothing difficult will happen again. You only need to stop canceling what is good while it is still happening. That alone is a meaningful change. How many times have you received something pleasant and immediately thought about losing it? How many times has relief lasted only seconds before the mind began building another concern? How many times have you answered one question and then invented 3 more? You do not have to keep doing that. You can let relief have a full life, even if its life is only this afternoon, even if it is only one conversation, even if it is only the space between 2 responsibilities. Temporary does not mean worthless. The evening light over the field does not become meaningless because darkness comes later. The work does not become meaningless because another day will bring another task. Rest does not become false because you will work again. A peaceful moment does not need permanence in order to be real. You can receive what is here while it is here. That is maturity too. There is another old belief that may begin loosening now. The belief that ease must always be followed by difficulty. Some people become uneasy when things go well because ease itself feels unfamiliar. A quiet week can create more tension than a busy one. You start looking around. What did I forget? What is coming? Why has no one called? Why is this going smoothly? You almost feel safer when there is a visible problem because then your vigilance has somewhere to go. When the field is settled, the working part of you does not know what to do with itself. It begins inventing movement. You can teach it another response. You can let settled mean settled. No hidden assignment, no extra circle, no test. The gate is closed. The work is done. You are permitted to stand in the quiet. At first, you may only manage a few seconds. That is enough. You do not need to make a practice out of it. You do not need a tracker. You do not need to count your calm minutes. You do not need to prove improvement. Remember what this listening is giving you. An ending. A release from the assignment. A chance to hear the words once and let them do what they do without turning them into another duty. That means even this insight does not need to be managed. You do not need to monitor yourself tomorrow to see whether you are receiving correctly. There is no correct way to receive. Sometimes receiving looks like saying yes. Sometimes it looks like not arguing with a compliment. Sometimes it looks like letting someone else carry part of the load. Sometimes it looks like accepting a lower price without feeling suspicious. Sometimes it looks like using the resource that was offered. Sometimes it looks like admitting that you need help. Sometimes it looks like keeping what you earned instead of immediately finding a reason to give it away. Sometimes it looks like declining something that costs too much of your energy. Sometimes it looks like accepting that enough can be enough. Receiving is not always dramatic. Often it is deeply ordinary. That is why you may miss it. You may be waiting for life to become unmistakable before you let yourself feel supported. Support is often quieter than that. The farmer does not throw a celebration every time the dog completes a task. There is recognition. The signal changes. The work ends. The dog is released from the job. Sometimes being released from unnecessary effort is the gift. You do not always need more. Sometimes you need less demand, less self-interrogation, less proving, less preparation for punishment, less suspicion around ease, less insistence that peace must be deserved. A smaller burden can feel like an increase in life. You may discover that you have been measuring abundance only by what gets added. More opportunity, more income, more certainty, more resources. Those things can matter. But there is another kind of improvement. Less strain around what you have. Less fear attached to a decision, less resistance to help, less inner argument, less time lost to imagined disasters, less unnecessary work after the useful work is done. That kind of reduction can change the texture of a day. Nothing magical has to happen. The field is the same field. The gate is the same gate. The dog is the same. Me, dog, only the assignment has ended. That is enough to change everything about the moment. Your circumstances do not always have to change first for your relationship to the moment to soften. Sometimes the softening happens first. Then you think more clearly, you speak more directly, you ask for what you need, you recognize options, you stop making decisions from the most frightened version of the future. Again, none of this guarantees outcomes. It gives you a better place from which to meet outcomes. That matters. A calm mind can still hear bad news. A calm mind can still face a difficult number. A calm mind can still say no. A calm mind can still make a hard choice. Calm is not denial. It is the absence of unnecessary extra punishment. You can deal with what is true without inventing more pain than the truth requires. There is dignity in that. You can face a problem without making yourself the problem. You can face a shortage without calling yourself a failure. You can face uncertainty without calling the future hopeless. You can face a mistake without deciding that you ruin everything. You can face delay without assuming refusal. You can face a closed gate without deciding every gate is closed. One field does not define all fields. One season does not define all seasons. One difficult experience does not get to write every future ending. The working part of you may have been using old fields to predict new ones. It remembers where the gate jammed. It remembers the day the weather turned. It remembers when effort did not produce the expected result. It remembers when trust hurt. Those memories are real. They deserve respect. They do not deserve permanent authority. Today's field gets to be today's field. Today's answer gets to be today's answer. Today's person gets to be today's person. Today's opportunity gets to be examined on its own terms. This is one of the quietest ways expectation changes. You stop forcing the present to repeat the past. You become willing to gather new evidence. Maybe the email is neutral. Maybe the conversation is easier. Maybe the answer contains options. Maybe the person understands. Maybe there is more time than you thought. Maybe the figure is not as frightening after you look at it carefully. Maybe one practical change reduces the pressure. Maybe there is someone qualified who can help you understand what to do next. Maybe the field is not the same. You do not need to believe any one outcome. You only need enough openness not to decide against yourself before reality arrives. That is receiving too. You give reality permission to be better than your fear predicted. You give people permission to surprise you. You give yourself permission to respond differently. You give completed work permission to stay complete. You give rest permission to be ordinary. You give favorable moments permission to remain favorable while they are here. That is a generous way to live. Not naive, generous. There is a difference. Naivety refuses evidence. Openness waits for evidence. Naivety says nothing can go wrong. Openness says I do not have to assume that everything will. Naivety abandons practical action. Openness takes practical action without adding constant dread. You are not being asked to become careless. You are being invited to become less cruel to yourself. Those are very different things. There may be something you have been carrying today that does not require more thought. You probably know what it is. Perhaps you have looked at it from every angle available. Perhaps you have had the conversation in your head repeatedly. Perhaps you have made the decision that can be made for now. Perhaps the next part belongs to someone else. Perhaps the next part belongs to time. You can stop visiting that field tonight. You do not need to destroy it. You do not need to solve it. You do not need to convince yourself it does not exist. You can leave it where it is. The dog does not erase the field when work ends. It leaves the field intact. That is important. Setting something down does not deny its existence. It changes. You can begin recognizing proper edges. Enough thinking, enough checking, enough forecasting, enough explaining, enough proving, enough punishment. You can use the word enough without turning it against yourself. Enough does not mean you are inadequate. Enough means a boundary has been reached. There is something compassionate about a boundary. A field without boundaries is impossible to work. You would never know where the task began or ended. The same is true inside your mind. Without boundaries, every concern spreads into every hour. One bill becomes a meditation on your entire future. One disagreement becomes a verdict on every relationship. One delay becomes a prediction. One mistake becomes identity. A boundary says, this is one thing. It is not all things. This is today. It is not forever. This requires one action. It does not require 20 imagined actions. This is uncomfortable. It does not mean disaster. This is unfinished. It does not mean I must work on it continuously. Boundaries return size to things. Fear tends to remove size. It makes everything total, always. Never, everyone, nothing, everything. The field helps you remember proportion. One task, one instruction, one ending. You can come back to proportion. You can say, this is what is true. This is what I can do. This is what I cannot know yet. This is where I stop. That is enough. There is freedom in knowing where you stop. It means life can meet you somewhere. If you insist on doing every part yourself, there is nowhere for support to enter. If you insist on predicting every answer, there is nowhere for surprise. If you insist on earning every kindness, there is nowhere for generosity. If you insist on carrying everything, there is nowhere for another hand. Receiving requires a small opening, not a dramatic surrender, only a small opening, a willingness to say, I do not have to produce every good thing alone. I do not have to force every answer. I do not have to deserve every moment of ease. I do not have to make myself tired before I am allowed to stop. I do not have to work after the work is done. Let those ideas stay ordinary. No bright promises, no grand declarations, only fairer rules. Rules under which you can actually breathe. Rules under which being human is permitted. Rules under which effort has an ending. Rules under which support can be accepted. Rules under which life is not constantly placed on trial. You may have lived under harsher rules. Maybe the rule was that you must always be useful. Maybe the rule was that you must never need anyone. Maybe the rule was that you must expect disappointment so you will not look foolish. Maybe the rule was that good fortune belongs to other people. Maybe the rule was that rest comes after everything is finished. Everything is never finished. That rule creates permanent exhaustion. You are allowed to replace it. Rest can come when today's part is finished. That is different. Receiving can happen while life is unfinished. That is different. Support can be accepted without proving desperation first. That is different. You can expect the possibility of a fair outcome without claiming certainty. That is different. You can let one listening be complete. That is different. Difference does not have to be dramatic to matter. Sometimes a dog crosses an entire field differently because one sound changed. Sometimes a life begins to feel different because one old rule loses its authority. You do not need to identify every old rule today. You do not need to dig through your whole history. That would become another assignment. One is enough. The rule that says you must keep working after enough has been done. That rule can end here. Not because you will never overthink again, not because you will never worry again, not because you will never repeat an old habit, because you no longer have to treat the habit as law. A habit can appear without becoming an instruction. The impulse to check can appear. You can decide whether checking is useful. The impulse to worry can appear. You can ask whether there is action available. The impulse to prove can appear. You can remember that worth is not being measured. The impulse to keep going can appear. You can look across the field. Is there anything left that truly needs doing? Sometimes the answer will be yes. Then you move. Sometimes the answer will be no. Then you hear the words, "That'll do." The tail can loosen. The pace can change. The eyes can stop searching the far edge. There is nothing more noble about remaining on duty after duty has ended. You can return to yourself. You can let yourself be a person rather than a project. You can let the evening belong to you. You can let a good thing arrive without immediately turning it into responsibility. You can let the next helpful thing be small. You can let support be ordinary. You can let enough be enough. I am ready for kinder outcomes. I can meet what comes. I can accept useful help. I can leave room. I do not chase every fear. I trust practical steps. I honor what is finished. I let good remain good. I can ask. I can listen. I can choose. I can stop. I can rest. I can receive. There is room. There is time. One thing at a time. One field at a time. One task at a time. I am not behind. I do not need proof. I can accept support. I can keep what helps. I release extra effort. I welcome fair answers. I welcome useful options. I welcome honest help. I am open. I am steady. I am learning. I have done enough. Enough for now. The gate can close. The work can end. I can leave. I can breathe. I can be here. No proving. No extra circle. No hidden test. Nothing to earn. Nothing to force. Open hands. Quiet mind. Work complete. Enough now. I receive. I rest. And rest does not mean nothing is happening. It means you have stopped interfering with what no longer requires your effort. There is a wisdom in that which the working mind can easily miss. The working mind likes movement because movement is visible. It likes a task that can be touched, a number that can be checked, a message that can be sent, a problem that can be turned over again, a plan that can be adjusted. Movement makes the mind feel useful. Stillness asks for another kind of trust. The trust that some things continue without your supervision. The field does not disappear when the dog leaves it. The gate does not forget how to stay closed. The work that has been completed does not unravel because no one is staring at it. Life has processes that do not need you standing beside them. Other people make decisions while you are sleeping. Messages travel after you send them. Applications are reviewed without your watching. Conversations settle in another person's mind after you have spoken. Numbers remain numbers after you close the page. Time moves. Conditions change. Information arrives. What belongs to another person remains with another person. What belongs to tomorrow remains with tomorrow. You are not required to stand guard over every unfinished outcome. There is a difference between unfinished and unattended. Some things are unfinished because they are still moving through their natural course. They are not asking for more from you. You may have done your part. That matters. It is possible to complete your part before the entire situation is complete. This is where many people keep themselves trapped in unnecessary labor. They confuse the end of their part with the end of everything. If everything is not settled, they assume they must still be working. But a farmer can finish his instruction before the whole evening is over. The dog can finish its run before the sky goes dark. The gate can be secured while other things continue across the land. Completion can belong to one part of a larger story. Your part may be smaller than your fear tells you. That is not failure. That is proportion. Perhaps your part was to ask. Perhaps your part was to answer. Perhaps your part was to calculate. Perhaps your part was to make a clear choice. Perhaps your part was to seek qualified guidance. Perhaps your part was to tell the truth. Perhaps your part was to decline. Perhaps your part was to accept. Perhaps your part was to wait. Waiting can be a part, not passive waiting filled with fear. Simple waiting after the useful action has been taken. That kind of waiting is not empty. It is respectful. It respects timing. It respects other people's roles. It respects the limits of control. It respects your own energy. The dog does not race to the far side of the field to perform the farmer's part. It responds to its own instruction. that is enough. You can become clearer about your instruction. What actually belongs to you? Not what can be imagined, not what might happen eventually, not what someone else should decide. What belongs to you now? There is usually less there than anxiety suggests. Anxiety hands you the whole field at once. Wisdom hands you the next useful movement, then another when needed, then an ending. There is mercy in the size of one step. One step can be done. One conversation can be had. One page can be read. One decision can be made. One request can be sent. One boundary can be stated. One expense can be reviewed. One question can be taken to someone who understands the subject better than you do. You do not have to solve the whole season in one afternoon. The field does not ask for that. It asks for the movement that belongs to this hour. Then the next hour becomes its own thing. This is how you begin reclaiming energy from imagined futures. You stop volunteering for tasks that have not arrived. You stop answering questions that have not been asked. You stop paying emotional costs for outcomes that have not occurred. You stop behaving as though uncertainty itself is an emergency. Uncertainty can be uncomfortable. It is not automatically danger. Sometimes uncertainty means information is still coming. Sometimes it means another person has not decided. Sometimes it means you have more than one reasonable choice. Sometimes it means the future has not yet narrowed into one outcome. There can be room inside uncertainty. Fear calls that room a threat. Openness can call it possibility. You do not need to choose a cheerful interpretation every time. You only need to stop choosing the worst interpretation automatically. That is a fairer standard. There are outcomes you cannot see yet. Some may disappoint you. Some may surprise you pleasantly. Some may be ordinary. Some may lead somewhere you had not considered. You do not need to predict which one before you are allowed to live today. You can prepare where preparation is useful and then release the rest. Release does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending. It means refusing to keep doing invisible work after visible work is complete. The dog understands that distinction through the body. One moment, it is focused. The next moment, the command changes. There is no moral struggle. It does not think, if I stop, perhaps I was never committed. It stops because stopping is now the correct response. You can let stopping become a correct response, not a reward, not a weakness, a response. There are times to move. There are times to wait. There are times to leave the field. If you only respect movement, you will miss 2/3 of that wisdom. There may be a sentence you have carried for years without ever saying it clearly. I will rest when everything is secure. Everything may never feel completely secure. Security is not a permanent weather condition. Life changes. Markets change. People change. Plans change, needs change, bodies change, homes change, work changes. You cannot wait for existence to sign a guarantee before permitting yourself an ordinary evening. You need another standard. You can rest when your part for now is complete. That standard is livable. You can use it tonight. You can use it after a difficult call. You can use it after you have done the responsible thing. You can use it when there is still uncertainty. You can use it without lying to yourself. My part for now is complete. There is dignity in those words. They do not claim too much. They do not promise an outcome. They acknowledge effort and boundary at once. They leave life room to continue. Think of how differently the dog would move if it never trusted the farmer to know when enough had been done. Every instruction would become frightening. Every task would feel endless. The dog would have to decide for itself when every possible duty in the world had been completed. Impossible. Humans sometimes give themselves that impossible assignment. You try to decide when it is finally safe to stop thinking, when every possible risk has been examined, when every future expense has been predicted, when every person is pleased, when every plan is protected, when nothing can surprise you. No wonder the mind becomes tired. It has been assigned a job with no finish line. Give it one. Not forever. Today. For this question, this is enough. For this evening, this is enough. For this decision, this is enough. For this listening, this is enough. The words do not have to become a ritual. They can simply be true when they are true. And if something else becomes necessary tomorrow, you can meet tomorrow then. You have done that before. You have responded to things you did not predict. You have learned information after the fact. You have changed plans. You have adapted. You have asked for help. You have survived moments that once looked larger from a distance. The mind forgets its own history of response because it is so busy trying to prevent the need to respond. But you do not need complete prediction when you have the ability to meet reality. That ability is quieter than control. It is also more honest. You can say, I do not know everything that will happen. I can meet what actually happens. There is strength in that. No drama, no guarantee, no claim that everything will be easy. Only confidence that your life does not have to be lived entirely in advance. You can arrive at moments when they arrive. You can receive information when it comes. You can make choices with the facts available then. You can let the future carry some of its own weight. This may be one of the kindest forms of receiving. You receive the present without demanding that it contain the entire future. You receive today's answer, today's support, today's enough. You stop rejecting small relief because it is not permanent relief. You stop rejecting partial progress because it is not completion. You stop rejecting help because it does not solve everything. You stop rejecting a good hour because the month still has questions. You stop rejecting the cup because it is not the whole well. What arrives does not have to be everything in order to be useful. The farmer's 2 words are not everything the dog will ever hear. They are enough for this moment. That is what makes them powerful. Precision, right words, right time, no excess. There is a beauty in not asking a moment to carry more than it can carry. This moment does not have to prove your future is safe. It only has to be this moment. This breath does not have to solve a problem. This chair does not have to become a sanctuary forever. This evening does not have to erase every hard day. This listening does not have to become a lifelong practice. It can be enough exactly as it is. You may begin to understand why one listening can matter. Not because one listening magically changes every circumstance, because it can mark a boundary. Before this, perhaps the rule was endless inner work. After this, you know another rule exists. A useful message can be heard and completed. You can be helped without becoming obligated. You can receive without converting the gift into homework. That is the deeper release. Sometimes people are less afraid of help than they are of what help will demand afterward. They think, if this works, I will have to keep doing it. If this calms me, I will have to maintain it. If I feel better, I will have to protect the feeling. If I learn something, I will have to practice it perfectly. If I receive something, I will owe something. That expectation turns receiving into labor before anything has even arrived. You can interrupt that pattern. A good thing can end cleanly. A helpful moment can complete itself. A gift can remain a gift. An insight can remain an insight. You do not have to build a schedule around every form of support. You do not have to become a manager of your own comfort. That is another job you can resign from. You are allowed to be touched by something once. You are allowed to understand something once. You are allowed to hear a sentence and let it go deeper than repetition ever could. You are allowed to forget some of these words. In fact, you will. That is fine. You will not need them all. The dog does not memorize every sound from the entire day. It knows what mattered when it mattered. Something in you can do the same. Perhaps what remains will not be a sentence. Perhaps it will be an image. Late light, open ground. A dog that has done its work. A voice traveling across the distance. A body changing because the task has ended. That may be enough to remind you. No lecture, no long process. Just the recognition that you are still working after the signal. Then you can stop. Imagine catching yourself one day with the same page open for the 4th time. You realize there is no new information. The old habit says, check again. The field comes back to you. That'll do. you close it. Another day, you may replay a conversation and begin preparing a defense for something no one has accused you of. The old worker starts running. Then you realize there is no task. That'll do. You return to the room you are actually in. Another time you may receive something favorable, a decision, an answer, an unexpected reduction in pressure, someone's willingness to work with you. The old habit begins searching for the catch. Then you remember the field. Nothing else needs to be invented. Let good be good. That'll do. This is not a practice you must perform. It is an option you now know exists. Options change things. Before, there may have seemed to be only two choices: stay vigilant or become careless. Now there is a third. Be attentive when attention is useful and stop when it is not. Before, there may have seemed to be two choices: earn everything or become undeserving. Now there is another. So do your part and let generosity remain generosity. Before, there may have seemed to be two choices: predict danger or be blindsided. Now there is another. Prepare reasonably and trust yourself to respond. These middle paths are not dramatic. They are sustainable. They leave room for life. They leave room for other people. They leave room for rest. They leave room for receiving. They leave room for the possibility that the next thing does not require struggle. That possibility may be enough for today. You do not have to turn it into certainty. Certainty is not required. Willingness is enough. You can be willing for something to be simpler, willing for an answer to be fair, willing for support to appear through ordinary channels, willing to ask someone who knows more, willing to accept practical help, willing to stop treating every unknown as bad news, willing to let your own effort count, willing to stop at the end. Sometimes the biggest change is not what you begin doing. It is what you stop doing after it is no longer necessary. The extra check, the extra apology, the extra explanation, the extra proof, the extra hour of fear, the extra lap around the field. Imagine how much life returns through those endings. Not all at once, minute by minute. An evening reclaimed, a meal tasted, a conversation heard, an hour of sleep not traded for rehearsal, a decision made with more clarity, a request made without apologizing for having a need, a kind word accepted, a little less suspicion, a little more room. That is meaningful. It does not need to look impressive from the outside. You will feel the difference from the inside. Your life may become less crowded with invisible tasks. You may begin to ask, before taking on another inner assignment, is this actually mine? Is this actually needed? Is there useful action available? Have I already done it? Those questions return you to proportion. If there is action, take it. If there is not, you do not have to manufacture one. This is especially important when you are waiting for someone else. Waiting often tempts the mind into fake work, checking, predicting, rereading, interpreting silence, preparing for rejection, preparing for acceptance, preparing for every possible version of the conversation. None of that makes the other person answer sooner. Your part may truly be finished. You sent what needed to be sent. The rest belongs elsewhere. Leave the field. You can return when there is something real to respond to. This saves energy for reality. Energy you might actually need. There is no prize for exhausting yourself before the moment arrives. The dog that rests after the work is more ready for the next genuine instruction. So are you. Rest preserves response. That is practical. It is not indulgent. It is not mystical. A mind that is permitted to stop can see more clearly when action becomes necessary again. This may change the way you understand receiving. Receiving is not sitting still and hoping the world solves everything. Receiving is having enough openness to recognize what comes after you have done your part. Information, assistance, an answer, a delay that gives you time, a different option, a person who knows something you do not, a correction, a fairer arrangement, a chance to reconsider, a no that protects you from something unsuitable, a yes that opens something workable. Sometimes what arrives will not look like what you expected. You can stay open enough to examine it before rejecting it. That is all. No magical thinking. No demand that every event be interpreted as a blessing. Some things are disappointing. Some are painful. Some require difficult, practical decisions. You do not have to call them good. You only need to meet them without adding the belief that you should have predicted everything. You are human. You receive information as life unfolds. You respond. That is enough. The farmer does not blame the dog for not solving a task before the instruction exists. You can stop blaming yourself for not knowing what could not yet be known. There are things you know now because time passed. There are mistakes you recognize now because you have information your earlier self did not. There are choices you would make differently now. That does not mean the earlier version of you was foolish. It means the field became clearer. You can offer your past self the same fairness you are learning to offer your present self. That person did what they knew. That person responded with the tools available. That person may have stayed on duty too long because they believed staying on duty kept everyone safe. You do not have to keep punishing them. The day has moved. The instruction has changed. That'll do. Let the old worker come home. There is nothing to prove by keeping yesterday alive through today's tension. You can learn without continuing the punishment. Learning is enough. Correction is enough. A new decision is enough. You do not have to build a courtroom inside yourself every time you remember something you wish had gone differently. The field is not a courtroom. It is a place of work. Work gets done. Lessons are learned. Then the day ends. You can grant yourself an ending. Perhaps that is one of the forms of wealth people rarely talk about. The ability to finish an inner argument. The ability to stop spending tomorrow's energy on yesterday. The ability to receive one peaceful hour without immediately mortgaging it to fear. The ability to say, "There is nothing useful for me to do about this right now." And then believe yourself. That is not measured in a bank account. It still changes how a life feels. And when practical resources do improve, this capacity matters there too. Because receiving more does not automatically quiet fear. A mind trained to search for shortage can search for shortage inside almost any amount. The habit must be treated with understanding, not force. You can have more and still feel as though you are about to lose everything. You can have less and still find moments of proportion and wise action. That is why this work cannot be reduced to numbers. Numbers matter. So does your relationship with them. You deserve practical clarity where possible and emotional fairness while you seek it. You do not have to frighten yourself into being responsible. You can become responsible through clarity. You can make a plan because it helps. You can ask for advice because information matters. You can make changes because they are useful. You can protect what needs protecting. Then you can stop. Fear is not the fee for wisdom. You do not have to pay it every day. Let that sentence have an ending too. No debate, no assignment, only recognition. You can be wise without remaining frightened. You can be careful without remaining clenched. You can be prepared without preparing for everything. You can receive without apologizing. You can stop without failing. If you want to mark this one moment and nothing more, comment, shifted. Then let even that be complete. No promise attached, no new routine, no need to prove anything afterward. One word, then the field can grow quiet again. You have given enough attention to effort. Now give some attention to the moment after effort. The moment the dog understands, the head turns, the pace slows, the body releases the task. The same ground that demanded concentration a minute ago now asks for nothing. What a difference an ending makes. You may be standing on ground like that in some part of your life already. The work may be more complete than your mind has admitted. The decision may be sufficiently made. A message may be sufficiently written. The preparation may be sufficient. The explanation may already be clear. The apology may already have been sincere. The planning may have reached the point where experience must take over. You can stop improving what is ready to be lived. That is another kind of overwork. Trying to perfect the plan so completely that you never have to enter the field. At some point, thought has done what thought can do. Then life answers back. You learn by meeting it. You adjust if needed. You are capable of adjustment. You do not need a flawless map. You need enough information for the next honest move. Then you can see what follows. This reduces the pressure to know everything. You do not need to know everything. You need to know what belongs to this moment. Some questions have no useful answer yet. Let them remain questions. A question is not an emergency. An unanswered message is not automatically rejection. A delay is not automatically danger. Silence is not automatically bad news. A change of plan is not automatically loss. An unexpected expense is not a moral judgment. Needing assistance is not a verdict on competence. Receiving assistance is not failure. Stopping is not laziness. Resting is not falling behind. These meanings were learned. They can loosen. You do not have to replace them with perfect beliefs today. Just loosen the certainty around them. Perhaps another interpretation exists. Perhaps the field is quieter than you thought. Perhaps the gate is already closed. Perhaps the dog has been waiting only because no one ever told it clearly that the work was finished. Tell it now. That'll do. You can stop searching. You can stop proving. You can stop predicting. You can stop for now. The unfinished future can remain unfinished. The completed part can remain complete. What is yours will become clear as it becomes yours to meet. Until then, you do not have to live on duty. There is a life beyond the task. There is conversation after the field. There is food. There is laughter. There is ordinary evening air. There is sleep. There are moments when no improvement is required. There are moments when you are not a problem to solve. There are moments when you are simply alive. Do not miss all of them while waiting for perfect security. Come back from the far edge. The work is ending. The pace is slower now. The field is still. You have done enough for this moment. You do not need to earn the next breath. You do not need to earn the chair beneath you. You do not need to earn an ordinary kindness. You do not need to earn a moment without fear. You can let something come toward you. You can let something remain unresolved without chasing it. You can let something finished stay finished. You can trust one ending, then another, then another. No streak, no test, no homework, just endings where endings belong. That'll do. And once those words have been heard, there is no need to chase after them. The field has taught what it came to teach. You have seen the work. You have seen the ending. You have seen the moment effort turns into release. Now there is less to explain. This is the part where the mind may want another lesson, another reason, another reassurance, another argument strong enough to defeat every fear forever. You do not need one. You have enough. There comes a point when more explanation becomes another circle around the same ground. You have walked far enough across this field. The next movement is smaller. You begin letting the message belong to you, not by memorizing it, not by working harder at it, by no longer arguing with every quiet possibility. Perhaps something can go well. Let that possibility stand. Perhaps someone can help. Let that possibility stand. Perhaps you have done enough for today. Let that possibility stand. Perhaps the answer will be simpler than the fear. Let that possibility stand. Perhaps you will know what to do when the next step becomes clear. Let that possibility stand. You do not need to turn any of these into promises. You are making room, not predictions. That is different. Room is enough. A field does not need to know tomorrow's weather in order to become quiet tonight. The dog does not demand proof of every future task before resting. The farmer does not explain the entire week. The signal is about now. That'll do. There is a great kindness in the word now. Now is smaller than forever. Now does not demand that you solve your whole life. Now does not require certainty about next month. Now does not ask you to understand every past decision. Now asks only what belongs here. Perhaps what belongs here is rest. Perhaps it is a little willingness. Perhaps it is the end of an argument you have had with yourself too many times. You do not have to win that argument. You can simply stop attending it. Some thoughts lose strength when they are no longer treated as assignments. The thought may say, "Check again." You can hear it without obeying. It may say, "Prepare for the worst." You can ask whether preparation is useful. It may say, "You should be doing more." You can look honestly at the field. If there is something useful left to do, you will know. If there is not, you do not have to invent labor. This is how your own voice becomes trustworthy, not because it tells you only comforting things, because it becomes fair. A fair voice says when action is needed. A fair voice also says when action is complete. A fair voice does not move the gate every time you approach it. A fair voice does not punish you for being human. A fair voice can say, "You made the best choice you could with what you knew." A fair voice can say, "You can ask for better information." A fair voice can say, "This needs attention." A fair voice can also say, "Not tonight. That balance is strength." You may have mistaken harshness for strength. Harshness is easy. It only knows one instruction. More. Try more. Think more. Prepare more. Prove more. Carry more. Strength is wiser. Strength knows when another step helps and when another step only drains you. Strength knows how to stop. The dog in the field is not weak when it leaves the task. Its willingness to stop is part of its intelligence. You can respect that intelligence in yourself. You can stop before every concern becomes a full-day occupation. You can stop before a good moment is converted into another problem. You can stop before you explain away the support that has already appeared. You can stop before you turn one uncertain answer into a prediction about your entire future. You can stop. Those words do not need decoration. You can stop. For now. You can leave a little space between what has happened and what you assume will happen next. Inside that space, your life becomes less crowded. There may still be responsibilities. There may still be numbers to review. There may still be choices ahead. But they no longer have to sit on top of one another. One thing can be one thing. One decision can stay one decision. One delay can stay one delay. One mistake can stay one mistake. One favorable answer can stay favorable. One finished task can stay finished. This is proportion. This is steadiness. This is how the field becomes manageable. You do not need to herd every possible future into one afternoon. You only need the part that is actually here. There is something else you may begin releasing. The belief that receiving must arrive with a dramatic feeling. Sometimes you receive and barely recognize it. Someone gives you more time. Someone answers kindly. A problem costs less than expected. A conversation becomes easier. A playful person returns your call. A fee is clarified. A mistake is corrected. A plan becomes simpler. You find information that helps you make a better decision. Someone shares knowledge freely. You realize you do not need something you thought you had to buy. You recognize that an old obligation no longer belongs to you. You change your mind before making a costly choice. You say no where you once would have said yes from fear. You ask a clearer question. You keep more of your energy. These are forms of receiving too. They are easy to overlook because they do not always arrive wrapped in excitement. Sometimes what reaches you is not more. It is less pressure, less confusion, less unnecessary cost, less wasted effort, less fear around the next step. Do not dismiss the value of less. The field becomes peaceful because there is less movement. The work is complete because another pass is unnecessary. The dog receives rest because nothing more is being demanded. There is wealth in what no longer drains you. You do not have to measure every improvement only by addition. Sometimes a burden removed is the favorable news. Sometimes clarity is the favorable news. Sometimes time is the favorable news. Sometimes knowing what not to do is the favorable news. Sometimes recognizing the end is the favorable news. And sometimes the good thing is so ordinary that the old mind nearly walks past it. Let ordinary good count. You do not need fireworks to prove that life can support you. You need honesty. Was there one thing today that helped? Let it count. Was there one thing that went more smoothly? Let it count. Was there one thing you handled? Let it count. Was there one thing you did not have to carry alone? Let it count. You are not building a case that everything is perfect. You are correcting a habit that only collected evidence for difficulty. A fair mind records both. What was difficult? What helped? What remained uncertain? What worked? What needs attention? What is complete? This fairness changes the way you approach tomorrow. You do not enter the next field assuming defeat. You enter with attention. You see what is there. You make the next useful move. You listen for the end. That is enough. You may discover that you have spent much of your life listening for alarms and very little of it listening for completion. An alarm is loud. Completion is often quiet. It may sound like nothing else needs to be done. It may feel like the absence of urgency. It may appear as a blank space in the evening. It may be the moment after you send the message, the moment after you make the choice, the moment after you put the papers away, the moment after you decide that tomorrow can hold tomorrow. Do not fill every blank space because emptiness makes you nervous. Sometimes the blank space is the reward. Sometimes the absence of another task is the answer. Sometimes the quiet after effort is exactly where you were trying to arrive. Recognize it. You do not have to hold it tightly. You only need to stop running past it. The dog does not receive the end of work and then ask how long the end will last. It enters it. That can be enough for you. Enter the next quiet moment while it is here. If worry returns later, you will meet that moment later. There is no need to drag it forward. This is how trust becomes practical. Trust is not believing nothing difficult can happen. Trust is knowing you do not have to experience every possible difficulty before it happens. You can wait for reality. You can meet facts. You can respond. You have been doing that all your life. There are things you once feared that never occurred. There are things you never predicted that you handled anyway. There are things that changed before you had time to solve them. There are people who helped in ways you could not have planned. There were answers that arrived after you stopped forcing them. There were situations that looked one way from a distance and another when you reached them. The future has never required perfect prediction from you, only participation. You participate when the moment is yours, then you let it pass. This is a kinder rhythm. Work, completion, rest, response, completion, rest. No permanent field, no endless assignment, no requirement to keep every gate in your life open at once. You can close what can be closed. You can return when needed. There is something peaceful about becoming less available to imaginary emergencies. They can knock. You do not have to open every gate. Ask for facts. Ask whether action exists. Ask whether the task belongs to now. If it does, meet it. If it does not, you are permitted to stay where you are. You are permitted to finish your meal. You are permitted to enjoy the evening. You are permitted to sleep. You are permitted to laugh before every problem is solved. You are permitted to have a good day during an uncertain month. You are permitted to have a quiet hour during a difficult year. You are permitted to receive kindness while you are still rebuilding. You do not have to complete yourself before life is allowed to be kind to you. There is no final version of you that becomes worthy enough. You are here. You are learning. You are working where work belongs. You are resting where rest belongs. That is a whole life, not a waiting room, a life. You may have thought that peace would come after enough money, enough certainty, enough proof, enough achievement. And sometimes more resources truly do reduce pressure. Practical improvements matter. At the same time, the habit of postponing life can follow you into every new circumstance. There is always another threshold, another number, another condition, another reason not to exhale yet. You can stop moving the finish line inside yourself, not by pretending you have everything you need, by recognizing that some peace belongs before the finish line, some dignity belongs before the finish line, some enjoyment belongs before the finish line, some rest belongs before the finish line, some receiving belongs now. You are not stealing it from your future. You are living the life that is actually present. You can still build. You can still plan. You can still change things. You can do all of that without withholding every good feeling until the work is over forever. The work is never over forever. It ends in pieces. This piece, that piece, this field, that day, this decision, that conversation. Learn the smaller endings. They will save you from waiting for one enormous ending that never arrives. Hear the quiet signal. This part is complete. This effort is complete. This thought has been thought enough. This question has no new answer tonight. This gate can stay closed. That'll do. You do not have to say it aloud. You do not have to write it down. You do not have to remember to use it tomorrow. Remember, there is no homework. If it returns to you naturally one day, fine. If it does not, something in you has still experienced what an ending feels like. That experience counts. One listening counts. One complete moment counts. You have not failed anything if you never return. There is nothing here waiting to punish forgetfulness. You are not required to maintain a state. States change. You may feel calm now and tense later. You may feel hopeful now and discouraged later. You may understand his clearly now and forget it during a difficult afternoon. that does not erase anything. A field that becomes busy again tomorrow was still quiet tonight. The quiet was real. Let experiences be real without demanding permanence from them. That alone removes so much pressure. A peaceful hour does not have to become a peaceful year in order to matter. A helpful thought does not have to become a perfect belief. An act of receiving does not have to cure every hesitation. A completed task does not have to guarantee no future tasks. Let moments be enough. You can live inside them more fully when you stop demanding that they prove the future. This one asks very little from you now. The words are becoming shorter because there is less work to do. You know the field. You know the dog. You know the signal. You know the release. There is nothing more to earn here. The assignment is ending. Let the rest be simple. I welcome what helps. I accept fair outcomes. I trust clear information. I take useful action. I leave room afterward. I honor completed work. I can accept assistance. I can ask clearly. I can answer calmly. I can choose wisely. I can change course. I can wait. I can stop. I can rest. I can receive. I trust enough. I keep perspective. I meet reality. I release prediction. I welcome clarity. I welcome support. I welcome fairness. I accept kindness. Timing too. I accept time. I accept help. I accept relief. I keep what serves. I release extra strain. I do my part. I leave the rest. I am not late. I am not failing. I am still learning. I can begin again. I can finish too. I know enough. I have options. I can ask. I can listen. I can decide. I can pause here. I can leave. I can return. I am supported. I stay open. I stay grounded. I choose calmly. I expect possibility. I welcome solutions. I accept enough. I let good stay. I let help in. I let work end. I let myself rest. I receive without proving. I receive without chasing. I receive without fear. I receive what helps. I receive what fits. I receive fair support. I welcome what comes. I trust my judgment. I trust practical steps. I trust good information. I trust clear boundaries. I trust completion. I trust myself. Enough is enough. Work can finish. Good can stay. E 2.0's. Help can arrive. Answers can come. Things can ease. I can soften. I can listen. I can respond. I can stop. No extra proving. No extra earning. No extra circle. No hidden demand. No daily duty. No perfect streak. No punishment. No test. One honest listening. One complete field. One clear ending. I have done enough. I can leave now. I can receive now. I am open. I am ready. I am here. Enough. Finished. Received. And even these lines do not need to continue forever. Their purpose is not to keep you in the field. Their purpose is to help you recognize that you can walk out of it. So begin letting the words thin out. There is no final secret waiting at the bottom. No missing instruction. No sentence you must capture before this ends. You have what you came for. The working part of you can stop listening for another command. Nothing else is being assigned. There is no tomorrow practice, no 7-day promise, no morning requirement, no evening repetition, no rule that says you must return whenever fear appears. You already know enough to meet fear when it appears. Sometimes you will act. Sometimes you will seek help. Sometimes you will wait. Sometimes you will realize there was never a task at all. The field has given you that distinct, useful effort, then completion. You can trust the difference more often. That is sufficient. If tomorrow is busy, let tomorrow be busy. If tomorrow is quiet, let quiet be quiet. Do not measure whether this listening worked by whether you remain perfectly calm. That would create another test. There is no test. The beginning of a change can be as small as recognizing one unnecessary lap. One moment when you nearly check again and do not. One compliment you do not reject. One piece of support you accept. One evening you stop early enough to enjoy. One fearful prediction you decide not to rehearse. one decision you make from facts instead of panic. That is plenty. You do not have to collect examples. You do not have to report back. You do not have to prove the shift. Live your ordinary life. Let the understanding appear where it is useful. Let it stay quiet where it is not. That is how something can belong to you without becoming a burden. The dog does not carry the farmer's words around like a rule book. It simply knows when the day is over. You can know too. The light is softer now. The field has lost its urgency. There is no need for another crossing. No need to inspect the far gate once more. No need to prove that you heard correctly. The work has reached its edge. You can let your attention return from all the imagined places it has been sent. From next week, from next month, from conversations that have not happened, from outcomes that have not been decided, from numbers you cannot know yet, from every future field. Bring none of them back with you. They can remain where they belong. You are here. The current ground is enough. The current moment is enough. You have done what this listening asked. You listened. That was the whole assignment. Nothing more is required. You do not need to become a different person before his words end. You do not need to feel transformed. You do not need a dramatic release. Perhaps you feel lighter. Perhaps you feel thoughtful. Perhaps you feel exactly as you did before. All of those responses are allowed. There is no correct ending, only an ending, and an ending is what you were promised. So let it be real. You can stop reaching for the next sentence. You can stop preparing for another lesson. You can let yourself be finished. The dog is no longer working. The field is no longer asking. The farmer has said what needed saying. Your work here is done. I stop where the honest work is complete. The shift has already begun in you. Now leave the field quiet behind you. The quiet does not need your supervision either. You do not have to stand at the edge of it and ask whether you are resting correctly. You do not have to measure whether the release is deep enough. You do not have to check whether the old tension has completely disappeared. The moment you turn rest into something to monitor, the working part begins another shift. Let it remain off-duty. There may still be movement inside you. Thoughts may continue. Questions may appear. A familiar concern may briefly return. None of that means the field has reopened. A thought is not an instruction. A feeling is not a command. A possibility is not a task. You can let them pass through without assigning yourself more work. This may be one of the simplest things you take from these minutes. Not everything that enters your mind deserves employment. Some thoughts can come and go without being hired. Some fears can speak without being promoted to decision maker. Some questions can remain unanswered until an answer is actually available. You do not have to put every inner visitor to work. There is something restful about realizing that. You may hear a thought say, "What about tomorrow?" Tomorrow has not asked anything of you yet. You may hear, "What if the answer changes?" Then you can respond when it changes. You may hear, "What if I should have done more?" Look at the field honestly. Was there another useful action available? If not, more worry would not have become more wisdom. The old worker often wants credit for staying late. You can thank it without extending the shift. It cared. It tried. It watched closely. It learned to believe that constant readiness was protection. Now it is learning another form of protection: conserving energy, keeping perspective, waiting for facts, accepting support, ending what is complete. These are useful skills too. They may not feel dramatic. That is part of their strength. A gate closing properly does not need applause. A task ending does not need a ceremony. A nervous system settling does not need proof. Enough can be quiet. You can let enough be quiet. There are many places where you may have mistaken intensity for importance. If something mattered, you thought you had to think about it constantly. If someone mattered, you thought you had to worry about them. If a decision mattered, you thought it had to occupy your mind until it hurt. If your future mattered, you thought you had to keep planning it. Importance and intensity are not the same thing. You can care deeply and still sleep. You can take a decision seriously and stop thinking about it after you have done what is useful. You can love someone without rehearsing every possible difficulty they might face. You can value your future without living there all day. Care does not need to hurt continuously in order to be sincere. Responsibility does not need to feel heavy every minute in order to be real. The dog does not prove a devotion by refusing rest. Its willingness to work when needed is enough. Its willingness to stop when the task is done is part of the same trust. You can build that trust with yourself. When you say you will act, act. When you say you need information, seek it. When you say something deserves professional advice, find qualified help if you can. When you say your part is finished for now, believe that too. Do not become the voice that constantly breaks its own promise of rest. If you tell yourself, "I am done for tonight," and then reopen the same concern 10 minutes later without new information, the working part learns that your endings cannot be trusted. You can begin making your endings believable. Small endings, honest endings, no dramatic vows, no rigid rules, just a little more consistency between what you say and what you do. If you say the task is complete, leave it complete until reality gives you a reason to return. That is how the inner worker learns to loosen. It hears a reliable signal. It learns that when you say enough, you mean enough. There is comfort in becoming someone whose own word can be trusted. Not perfect, reliable enough. You do not need absolute control over your thoughts to do this. You only need to stop treating every thought as authority. The field may come back to you at unexpected times, perhaps while you are washing something, perhaps when you are about to reopen an account page. Perhaps when you are lying down and the mind begins building tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. You may remember the dog. You may remember the change in its stance. You may remember that the work had an edge. If you remember, fine. If you do not, fine. Nothing has been lost. You are not being graded. That matters enough to say again in another way. There is no invisible score being kept here. No one is counting how often, and you remain calm. No one is subtracting points because you worried. No one is withholding relief until you master the lesson. This is not a competition with your old habits. Old habits can be slow. They can be stubborn. They can appear after you thought they had gone. That is normal. You do not have to restart every time they return. You can meet the moment you are actually in. Maybe you catch yourself halfway through an unnecessary mental circle. You do not need to finish the circle. You can stop halfway. A completed habit is not required. You are allowed to interrupt yourself kindly. You are allowed to change direction. The dog can turn when the signal changes. So can you. There is no shame in having started down the old path. The useful question is whether you need to keep going. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you will not. This is where discernment replaces reflex. You do not automatically push. You do not automatically retreat. You look, you listen, you respond. That is a calmer relationship with your own life. You may begin to see how much unnecessary strain came from treating every situation as if it demanded an immediate conclusion. Some things do not. Some choices need time. Some people need space. Some information needs to arrive. Some practical matters require a second opinion. Some plans become clearer after you stop forcing them. Waiting is not always avoidance. Sometimes waiting is accuracy. The farmer does not send the dog before there is something to move. Readiness is different from constant motion. You can be ready without running. That may be useful in the days ahead. You can remain available to your life without remaining tense toward it. Available, not braced, attentive, not alarmed, open, not gullible, responsible, not punished. These differences are subtle. They change everything. You may still make mistakes. You may still misjudge something. You may occasionally work too long. You may worry when there is no action of a label. You may say yes when no would have served you better. You may say no because fear spoke first. You remain human. This message does not ask you to become flawless. It asks you to stop turning growth into another performance. You can learn from what happens without using every lesson to attack yourself. The field is not interested in perfection. It responds to what is needed now. If the dog moves too far, it can be redirected. If it turns too soon, it can turn again. Correction is part of work. Correction is not condemnation. You deserve that distinction. You can correct a financial choice without calling yourself foolish. You can change a plan without calling the earlier plan a failure. You can ask for clarification without feeling embarrassed that you did not already know. You can seek support without turning need into shame. You can admit uncertainty without surrendering your dignity. You can revise. You can learn. You can stop. There is room for all three. The old worker may have thought only relentless forward movement counted. But sometimes wisdom looks like stopping at the gate and checking where you actually are. Sometimes it looks like turning. Sometimes it looks like staying still until the next instruction is clear. You do not lose worth when direction changes. You are not behind because you needed new information. You are not failing because the first attempt did not settle everything. You are allowed to be in process without living in permanent strain. That is the balance. Process without punishment. Effort without worshiping effort. Receiving without superstition. Hope without pretending certainty. Practical action without constant dread. Rest without guilt. You do not have to choose between realism and peace. You can keep both. Reality may say there is something to handle. Peace can say, handle what is real. Do not invent the rest. Reality may say there is uncertainty. Peace can say, then wait for what is not yet known. Reality may say, you need help. Peace can say, ask. Reality may say, you made a mistake. Peace can say, correct what you can. Reality may say, your part is finished. Peace can say, leave the field. This is not a fantasy life. It is a fairer life. One where every challenge is not doubled by self-punishment. One where a difficult day is not turned into a difficult identity. One where uncertainty is not automatically translated into catastrophe. One where receiving does not require guilt. One where stopping is permitted. You may have spent years believing that you would feel safe only when you finally became capable of preventing every unwanted event. That job cannot be completed. No person can do it. Safety cannot come entirely from prediction. Some safety comes from knowing you can respond. Some comes from relationships. Some comes from information. Some comes from practical preparation. Some comes from community. Some comes from professional support when needed. And some comes from no longer frightening yourself unnecessarily while you do those things. You do not need one source of certainty to carry everything. A strong life is often built from many modest supports. One good decision, one person you can call, one piece of reliable information, one boundary, one saved amount, one repaired habit, one honest conversation, one evening of rest. None of these needs to solve everything. Together, they matter. that is another way receiving can become visible. You stop waiting for one enormous rescue and begin respecting smaller forms of support. A little more time, a little more clarity, a little more cooperation, a little less cost, a little less pressure, a little more confidence asking the right question, a little more willingness to hear a fair answer. Small changes deserve a place in your awareness, not because you need to force gratitude, because fear has often been given the entire field. It has pointed to every possible difficulty. Fairness says, look at what is helping too, what is stable, what is available, what have you handled, what have you learned, who can you ask, what does not need action today, where has pressure already reduced, what is actually complete. Those questions do not deny difficulty. They widen the view. A wider view gives you better information. Better information supports better choices. This is how inner softening and practical life can work together. One does not replace the other. You become less frightened and more able to see. You see more clearly and make better use of what is available. You ask sooner. You listen better. You waste less energy fighting possibilities that have not happened. You save that energy for what is real. There is wisdom in saving yourself for reality. Not every imagined problem deserves your strength. Let reality call you when it needs you. Until then, rest can be part of readiness. You may even discover that good things become easier to recognize when you stop demanding that they arrive dramatically. Perhaps the next favorable change is practical. A clearer answer, a workable arrangement, a useful introduction, a fair adjustment, a delay that gives you breathing room. A person who says, I can help with that. A problem that turns out to be smaller. A choice you did not know you had. You do not need to predict which. You do not need to expect a miracle. You can remain open to ordinary assistance. Ordinary assistance changes lives every day. Let ordinary help be enough. Let ordinary progress count. Let an ordinary ending be real. That is what the field has been teaching all along. The farmer's words are ordinary. That'll do. 2 common words, nothing grand. And still, everything about the dog changes afterward. You do not need extraordinary language to change your relationship with effort. You need an honest ending. You can give yourself one. For this thought, enough. For this evening, enough. For this question, enough. For this round of planning, enough. For this listening, enough. There is no prize hidden beyond exhaustion. You do not have to cross the field one more time to discover that. You can trust what has already been shown. The work had value. The end has value too. You can honor both. You can work well. You can finish well. You can receive well. You can rest well enough. Nothing perfect. Enough. That word keeps returning because it is the word the overworking mind has been least willing to believe. Enough. Not barely enough. Not shamefully enough. Not, I suppose this will have to do. Enough as a true boundary. Enough as recognition. Enough as the point where another effort would not add value. Enough as permission to return to life outside the task. You have a life outside the task. That may sound obvious, yet worry can make you forget. You are more than the problem you are managing, more than the number you are watching, more than the answer you are waiting for, more than the work you produce, more than the help you give, more than your ability to hold everything together. When the dog stops working, it is still itself. Its value did not exist only in the field. Neither does yours. You are not useful only when useful things are being done through you. You do not need to stay productive in order to remain worthy of care. You do not need to remain worried to prove that something matters. You can be a person after the task, a person who sits, a person who eats, a person who speaks about ordinary things, a person who laughs, a person who sleeps, a person who receives, a person who has no current assignment. There's dignity in that person too. Maybe especially there, because that is where you remember that life was never meant to be one uninterrupted shift. There are fields, there are gates, there are tasks, then there are endings. Respect the endings. They make the work humane. They make the next day possible. They make room for what you could never force into being. You do your part. You stop. Life continues. You respond when called. You stop again. That rhythm is enough. You do not have to improve it tonight. You do not have to remember every sentence. You do not have to make anything happen. You have heard enough. You have carried enough. You have worked enough. The field can stay quiet. The gate can stay closed. The old worker can lie down. The day does not need one more circle. Neither do you. And the quiet after that sentence can belong to you. You do not need to improve it. You do not need to decorate it with another promise. There is a point where even reassurance must know when to stop speaking. Otherwise, reassurance becomes another form of noise. You have heard enough reasons. You have examined enough of the old habit. You have seen why it formed. You have seen what it tried to protect. You have seen how easily useful care can become endless inner duty. There is nothing left to prove about that. Now the movement is simpler. You begin meeting your own life without assuming that every open space contains a hidden demand. An empty afternoon does not automatically need to be filled. A message without urgency does not need an urgent interpretation. A person taking time to answer does not need a story built around the delay. A quieter month does not need to be treated as the beginning of trouble. A helpful offer does not need to be questioned until all warmth has disappeared from it. You can receive what is actually present. That is a different way of standing in the field. The dog that is no longer working does not continue staring at every corner as if another instruction must be hiding there. The posture changes because the relationship to the moment has changed. You can let your relationship to ordinary moments change too. Not all at once, not permanently, just honestly. You can enter one calm hour without asking how long it will last. You can enjoy one solved problem without demanding that no other problem ever appear. You can accept one favorable answer without trying to force the next 10 answers to match it. You can let this be this. That is enough. There is freedom in refusing to turn every improvement into a contract with the future. A good day is not promising you a good year. It does not need to. A helpful person is not promising to solve your life. They do not need to. A useful opportunity is not promising perfection. It does not need to. You can receive value without demanding permanence. This is how expectation becomes softer. You no longer say, nothing difficult will happen. You say, not everything has to be difficult. You no longer say, every answer will be favorable. You say, a favorable answer is possible. You no longer say, someone will rescue me. You say, support can exist and I can recognize it. You no longer say, I will never worry again. You say, worry does not have to run the whole field. These smaller statements are strong because they are honest. They do not ask reality to pretend. They ask fear to stop pretending that it knows everything. Fear has been very certain that the delay means bad news, certain that the silence means rejection, certain that the lower number cannot last, certain that the offer must have a catch, certain that ease means you missed something, certain that if you stop watching, the whole field will become disorder. You can become less impressed by that certainty. Fear speaks confidently even when it has no new information. You do not have to match its confidence with forced optimism. You can answer with curiosity. We will see. That is enough. We will see what the message says. We will see what the numbers actually are. We will see what the person decides. We will see what options exist. We will see what the next useful step becomes. There is calm inside those words. Not passivity, not denial, patience. The future will reveal itself in pieces. You can meet the pieces. You have always met life in pieces, even when your mind tried to carry the whole thing at once. That is worth remembering. Nothing has ever arrived all at once. Days arrive one at a time. Information arrives one piece at a time. Conversations unfold sentence by sentence. Plans become real step by step. The field is crossed one movement at a time. Fear may show you the whole horizon. Life still asks only for the ground beneath your feet. You can trust the size of what is actually here. This email, this call, this choice, this hour, this end. There is enough dignity in responding to what is real. You do not need the extra dignity of predicting everything correctly. You do not need to be the person who saw trouble coming. You do not need to prove that you were never surprised. Sometimes surprise is pleasant. Let that remain possible. Sometimes someone does more than expected. Sometimes the answer is quicker. Sometimes the adjustment is fair. Sometimes a concern resolves before it grows. Sometimes the right person knows exactly what information you were missing. Sometimes a door closes and saves you from carrying something unsuitable. Sometimes a different route is better. Sometimes the thing you feared simply does not happen. You do not need to make any of that a promise. Just stop excluding it. That is enough openness. You have practiced expecting the catch. You can now permit the possibility that there is no catch this time. Not every time. This time. That is how trust becomes believable. It stays close to the present. The farmer does not ask the dog to trust every field it will ever enter. Only this signal, this ending, this release. You can do the same. Trust one completed task. Trust one quiet evening. Trust one kind answer. Trust one decision you made carefully. Trust one moment where no further action is needed. The mind likes to argue with the word trust because it makes trust too large. Bring it back down. Trust can be local. Trust can last 10 minutes. Trust can apply to one decision. Trust can mean I checked enough. Trust can mean I asked someone qualified. Trust can mean I do not have new information, so I will not invent any. Trust can mean I will deal with the next part when it becomes real. That kind of trust is not dangerous. It is efficient. It keeps you from wasting strength on shadows at the far end of the field. Your strength belongs with reality. Save it. You may need it for something meaningful. A clear conversation. A practical change. A difficult no. A brave yes. A request for assistance. A new plan. A wiser boundary. An honest review. Those things deserve your energy. Imagined disasters do not deserve all of it. Leave some energy unused. You do not need to spend every drop just because it is available. The dog does not keep running because its legs still work. Enough is determined by the task, not by how much exhaustion can be tolerated. Let that become true for you. You do not have to reach emptiness before stopping. You can finish with strength left. You can finish with thought left. You can finish with time left. You can finish before midnight. You can finish before resentment. You can finish before fear becomes the only voice you hear. There is wisdom in leaving something unused. Time, energy, attention. Not every minute must be assigned. Not every thought must be useful. Not every bit of effort must be extracted from you. You are not a machine that becomes worthy through maximum output. You are a person living through a day. A day needs open spaces. A field needs an edge. A task needs an end. You can be someone who knows when the edge has been reached. That identity may feel unfamiliar at first. You may have been the reliable one, the one who kept going, the one who checked, the one who remembered, the one who thought ahead, the one who stayed alert. There is value in those qualities. You do not have to discard them. You are adding another quality. The one who knows when enough has been done. Imagine what changes when that becomes part of your reliability. People can trust you to act, and you can trust yourself to stop. You can prepare, and you can stop preparing. You can care, and you can stop worrying when worry has no useful work left. You can support someone, and you can leave them room to carry their own part. You can plan, and you can let the plan enter real life before endlessly revising it. You can hold responsibility without letting responsibility consume every hour. This is maturity with softer edges, not less responsible, more accurate. There may be old guilt around this. If you stop, someone else may have to act. If you stop, the answer may arrive without your effort. If you stop, you may discover that some things were never yours to carry. That can be uncomfortable. It can also be freeing. You have probably carried responsibilities that belonged partly to other people. You may have tried to predict their reactions, prevent their disappointment, solve their choices, manage their feelings, keep every gate in their field closed too. That is impossible. You can care without becoming responsible for every outcome another person experiences. You can offer what is honest. You can communicate clearly. You can help where help is appropriate. Then there is a point where their part begins. Leave room for their part. A field works because every part has its place. The dog does not become the farmer. The farmer does not become the dog. Each responds to what belongs to them. You can stop taking every role. That may be one of the deepest forms of rest, not merely sitting down, ending the inner attempt to manage everything. Someone else can make their decision. Someone else can answer. Someone else can learn. Someone else can carry a consequence. Someone else can offer support. You do not have to stand in every position at once. You can receive from people who are capable of giving. Let capable people be capable. Let knowledgeable people know things you do not. Let helpful people help. Let fair systems work where they work. Let a clear agreement remain clear. Let other adults carry their share. You do not become smaller when you stop doing everything. You become more available for what is actually yours. This is why receiving and boundaries belong near each other. Without boundaries, receiving can feel like losing control. With boundaries, support has a place to land. You know what is yours. You know what is theirs. You know what has been completed. You know what still needs action. The picture becomes cleaner. The field becomes easier to read, less frantic movement, more purpose. Then the quiet coo. Ammon can be trusted, that'll do. The words are not rejection. They do not say your contribution did not matter. They say it mattered enough to finish. Imagine receiving that from yourself at the end of more days. Not every day. No streak, no requirement. Just whenever it becomes true. That'll do. The call was made. That'll do. The figures were reviewed. That'll do. You asked for help. That'll do. You made the best decision available. That'll do. You apologized. That'll do. You corrected what you could. That'll do. You prepared. That'll do. You listened. That'll do. The phrase contains no punishment. It leaves dignity intact. It leaves tomorrow intact. It leaves your strength intact. It leaves the field intact. Nothing has to be destroyed for you to stop working on it. That is important. You can leave a problem unsolved for the night. You can leave a question unanswered. You can leave a plan incomplete. You can leave a conversation for another day. Ending your effort does not always mean the situation is finished. It means your useful part has reached its edge for now. That is enough. There is another kind of receiving here. Receiving your own effort as valid. You may have been waiting for someone else to tell you that you did enough. Someone else to recognize the hours. Someone else to say the work was good. Someone else to say you can rest. Someone else to release you. Sometimes that recognition will come. Sometimes it will not. You can learn to see the field yourself. You can know when you have acted sincerely. You can know when you have tried responsibly. You can know when more effort would not improve the outcome. You can recognize your own completion. That does not mean you never seek feedback. It means feedback does not have to become permission to exist outside the task. You can finish. You can come home to yourself. You can stop standing at the gate waiting for someone to announce that your worth survived the day. It did. Your worth was never stored in the task. The task could succeed. The task could fail. You remain a person. The decision could be wise. The decision could later need revision. You remain a person. Someone could approve. Someone could decline. You remain a person. The field can change. You remain. Your value does not rise every time life says yes. It does not disappear every time life says no. That understanding makes receiving safer. You no longer need favorable outcomes to prove your worth. Then a favorable outcome can simply be useful, pleasant, helpful, welcome. You do not have to turn it into evidence that you are finally enough. You were not waiting for a verdict on your humanity. That case never needed to be opened. You are meeting circumstances. That is all. Some circumstances support you, some challenge you, some redirect you. You can remain grounded through all three. The working dog does not become more itself when the field goes perfectly. It is itself while working. It is itself while resting. It is itself when corrected. It is itself at the end. You can grant yourself that continuity. No circumstance gets to define all of you. That is a quiet kind of freedom, and freedom can be received slowly, no rush. The faster you try to feel free, the more it becomes another performance. So do not force anything. If part of you still feels tense, let it be tense without building a project around it. If part of you doubts, let doubt exist without putting it in charge. If part of you feels relief, do not cling to the relief. All of it can move. You do not need to supervise. You do not need to produce the right feeling. You have already done the central thing. You have listened. You have considered another possibility. The field can carry the rest of the image without explanation. Late light. Work complete. A final call across the distance. A dog slowing. Tail loose. Nothing else demanded. Keep only what stays naturally. No homework. No repetition required. No morning test. No evening check. You can forget. You can remember. You can return. You can never return. The listening is still complete. That is the promise this container can honestly keep. One listening, one whole experience, one beginning of a different relationship with effort. Nothing more is being sold to you. Nothing more is being withheld. The next thing is your ordinary life. Let it be ordinary. You do not need to make tomorrow special to prove today mattered. You do not need to hunt for signs. You do not need to search for evidence that something changed. If something changes, you will meet it. If nothing obvious changes, you still had these minutes. They were real. They were yours. And now even they can end. No clinging, no test, no streak. You can receive a message and let the messenger leave. You can receive comfort and let the room become quiet. You can receive an idea and let it settle wherever it settles. You do not need to keep working the field after the call has come. That'll do. The pace can slow. The day can close. You can stop earning. You can stop proving. You can stop checking. You can stop here. You can let support be support. You can let enough be enough. You can let finished be finished. And you can let what comes next arrive in its own time.